Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the chapter Understanding Adverbs. So that is chapter number 10. You can take page number 30. I'll ask you to underline a few of the portions. You have to underline them and we will discuss from this slide as well. Okay. So what is an adverb? So what is the possible definition for an adverb that you have learned? So we have, of course, we have learned about the different parts of speech. So there we have learned about adjectives, adverbs, verbs, etc. So what is an adverb? So we know that an adverb is a word which is used to qualify or modify a verb. Is that the only definition for an adverb? In this particular chapter, we will know more about an adverb. It is not just the traditional definition of an adverb. In textbook, you can see the definition which is given for an adverb, that is the very traditional definition. So you can just mark them. The traditional definition that an adverb is a word that qualifies or modifies a verb is only partially true. Just put them in brackets. Of course, it does modify a verb, but it does also a great deal more than that. So you can just bracket them. Okay, so we will learn more about an adverb in this particular chapter. You can look at the slide. So there I have included one particular image. So you can see adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, adverbs, etc. See, the traditional definition was that an adverb is used to modify a verb, but that is not the only case with an adverb. It also modifies a verb, sometimes an adjective, sometimes another adverb. Okay, so that is the modified definition of an adverb. See, adverb is a word that modifies a verb. So that was the definition that we already learned. So that is the very traditional definition. But adverbs have more functions than this. This is the modified definition that you have to keep in mind. An adverb describes a verb, an adjective, another adverb, an indefinite pronoun, a prepositional phrase, or even a preposition. So this is the very modified definition of an adverb. An adverb not only qualifies or modifies a verb, but also it can modify another adverb, sometimes an adjective, sometimes an indefinite pronoun, a prepositional phrase, or even a preposition. So this is the modified definition of an adverb. You have to keep this particular definition in mind. Okay. So what is an indefinite pronoun? An indefinite pronoun is like words like anyone, everyone, all, another, etc. If you want a definition, an indefinite pronoun does not refer to any specific person, thing, or amount. A pronoun that does not usually refer to any specific person, thing, or amount can be termed as an indefinite pronoun. For example, words like everyone, anyone, any, another, all, etc. An adverb can modify an indefinite pronoun as well. Okay, so keep those things in mind. Then in the textbook you can see about 7 examples given. Can you see that in page number 30, 1, 2, 3 till 7. 7 examples are given there. So we'll analyze how these adverbs, different adverbs are used in all these sentences. So the first example is Rani sang well at the concert. Rani sang well at the concert. There, well is the adverb. So here, well modifies the verb. The word well says how Rani sang. So well is modifying the verb sing or sang. Next example is actually, I should say, she sang extremely well. There are 3 adverbs in this particular sentence. One is actually, another one is extremely, and the last one is well. Here you have to focus on the first adverb, that is actually. Actually modifies the entire sentence. ചിലപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ ചോദിക്കാനായിട്ട് ചാൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗീവ് ആൻ അഡ്വർബ് വിച്ച് മോഡിഫൈസ് ദി എൻറ്റയർ സെൻറ്റൻസ്. മൊത്തം സെൻറ്റൻസിനെയും മോഡിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ ഒരു അഡ്വർബ് തരിക എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ യു ക്യാൻ സേ ഓർ യു ക്യാൻ യൂസ് അഡ്വർബ്സ് ലൈക്ക് ആക്ച്വലി, ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി, സർട്ടൻലി, എക്സെട്ര. സോ അങ്ങനെ ചിലതാണ്. ആക്ച്വലി I should say she sang extremely well. So here actually is the adverb which modifies the entire sentence. Then third example is her voice was sweetly melodious. See, here melodious is actually an adjective, right? Melodious is an adjective. So sweetly is the adverb which is modifying the adjective melodious. So we have already seen that, right? An adverb can also modify an adjective. So this is the third example. Fourth is, it sank right into the hearts of the audience. See, here right is the adverb, and this particular adverb right modifies or qualifies the prepositional phrase, that is sank into. Sank into is the prepositional phrase here. So this particular adverb right is modifying the prepositional phrase sank into. And the fifth one is, nearly everybody felt the magic of her words. So here nearly is modifying the indefinite pronoun everybody. So we have already seen the definition for an indefinite pronoun. So if you want, you can note this down. A pronoun that does not refer to any specific person, amount or thing can be termed as an indefinite pronoun. So for example, any, anything, anyone, everyone, everybody, all, etc. So an indefinite pronoun is usually vague, that is not clear and that is not definite. So that is an indefinite pronoun. So in this particular sentence, nearly is modifying or qualifying the indefinite pronoun everybody. Then sixth point, over 500 people attended the function. So here you can see over is the adverb and the word over is modifying the numeral, that is 500. So 500, that particular numeral or the number is modified by the adverb over. Next is the seventh point, thousands listened to the concert from outside. So here outside is the adverb and outside here acts as the complement of from and modifies this particular preposition. So here you can say outside is the adverb which is modifying from, which is a preposition. So here outside modifies the preposition from. So that is the seventh example. Okay. And you can see in the textbook, yes, 1, 2 and 3, third paragraph, you can underline the second last line. So that is the modified definition of an adverb. Third paragraph, second last line, that is towards the end. An adverb can modify a verb, an adjective, another adverb, an indefinite pronoun, a prepositional phrase or even a preposition. So that is the modified definition for an adverb. Next is, you can underline the line which is just below that. Another notion that we must change is that, underline, adverb is always a single word. See, you have to change that particular notion. So what you have to do is add a note after is. Add a note after is and the sentence should be like this. That is, adverb is not always a single word. So you have to keep that in mind. So നമ്മൾ ഓർക്കും adverb എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു ഒറ്റ വാക്കാണെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും. അങ്ങനെയല്ല. Adverb or one particular adverb can be a group of words. ഒരു particular adverb ആയിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്നത് ചിലപ്പോൾ ഒരു group of words ആയിരിക്കും. നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞായിരുന്നല്ലോ, adverbial phrases ഉണ്ട്. So the sentence is, adverb is not always a single word. See, you can see the following examples. She arrived on time. Then she sang at the town hall at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Thousands of people cheered her when she arrived. So those are the examples which are given. Then look at the slide. So adverb is not always a single word. So keep that in mind. First example is, she arrived on time. See here, on time is the adverb or on time is an adverbial phrase or an adverb phrase. On time is an adverb phrase. Keep that in mind. Second is, she sang at the town hall at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Here you can see two underlined sets of words.
One is at the town hall and the next one is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. See, both these are adverb phrases. See, one is at the town hall and the other one is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can see the third last paragraph in page number 30. Third last paragraph. Okay, so there you can underline the second line. Different kinds of adverb clauses.
So the first one is, you can underline adverb clause of time. After that, you can underline adverb clause of reason.
Then of effect. Then of purpose. Of condition. Of manner. Of concession. Of place. Okay, so these are the different kinds of adverb clauses. Okay, then you can see the slide. First one is adverb clause of time. So for example, thousands of people cheered her when she arrived. See here, when she arrived is the adverb clause of time. So we have already seen what a clause is. A clause is actually a group of words which stand together as a single unit. There can be dependent clauses and independent clauses. So that we have already seen. Independent clauses can stand alone even though they are taken out of a sentence, and dependent clauses cannot stand alone if they are taken out of a sentence.
In a clause, only the finite forms of the verb will be present, like the base form, S form or past form.
Here also you can see a verb, that is arrived. So arrived is the verb here, and when she arrived, so that indicates time. That is why it is called the adverb clause of time. Next is adverb clause of reason. He did not go to school as he was ill. So here also you can see the verb that is was, that is auxiliary verb is here. So as he was ill is the adverb clause of reason. So that shows the reason. Then adverb clause of effect, which gives an effect. He was so weak that he could not even stand up. So he was so weak that he could not even stand up is the adverb clause of effect. So the next is adverb clause of purpose. I gave him some money so that he might buy books. Yeah, this particular clause actually shows a purpose. So that he might buy books is the adverb clause of purpose. Next is adverb clause of condition. So the example is, if you stop smoking, your health will improve. If you stop smoking is the adverb clause of condition. Next is adverb clause of manner. So that actually tells you how something happens or how something occurred. For example, do as I do.
So do as I do. As I do എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് adverb clause of manner.
Then adverb clause of concession, that is offers a statement which contrasts with the main idea. Though he was ill, he came to school. അവന് അസുഖമായിരുന്നെങ്കിലും അവൻ സ്കൂളിൽ വന്നു. See, this actually gives or offers a statement which contrasts with the main idea. So മെയിൻ ആയിട്ടുള്ള പോയിന്റ് എന്താണോ അതിൻ്റെ ജസ്റ്റ് ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കുന്നതിനാണ് adverb clause of concession എന്ന് നമ്മൾ പറയാം. അവന് അസുഖമായിരുന്നെങ്കിലും അവൻ വന്നു. Then adverb clause of place, that is where angels fear to tread, fools rush. So that actually indicates or shows a particular place, that is adverb clause of place. Where angels fear to tread is the adverb clause of place here. Okay, so that is about the different kinds of adverb clauses. So remember, ഒരു adverb clause എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് വേർഡ്സ് ആണ്. ആ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് വേർഡ്സിനകത്ത് എന്തുണ്ടായിരിക്കും? ഉറപ്പായിട്ടും ഒരു ഫൈനൈറ്റ് വേർബ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും, ഒരു വേർബ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. ഒന്നെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അറൈവ് എന്നൊക്കെ കണ്ട പോലെ ഒരു വേർബ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഓക്സിലറി വേർബെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. സോ അങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഒരു അഡ്വേർബ് ക്ലോസിനെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുക. അഡ്വേർബ് ക്ലോസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ പല ടൈപ്പ് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ചിലപ്പോൾ അത് ടൈം കാണിക്കും, ചിലപ്പോൾ അത് കൺസെഷൻ കാണിക്കും, ചിലപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് മാനർ കാണിക്കും, പ്ലേസ് കാണിക്കും. അങ്ങനെ പല അഡ്വേർബ് ക്ലോസസ് ഉണ്ട്. സോ അത്രയും ഓർത്തിരിക്കുക. മൂവിങ് ഓൺ. Yes, adverbs can be placed in 3 possible positions. So the next point is, where can you place an adverb? In the textbook you can see the second last paragraph. You can underline that. Adverbs can be placed in 3 possible positions. One is in the initial position, middle and end. So for example, you can see suddenly she stopped singing. Then she listened intently to the audience response. The audience clapped aloud. See, these are the examples. So in the first sentence, suddenly is the adverb which is placed in the very initial position. Then next is intently. In the next sentence, intently is the adverb that is placed in the middle of the sentence. Then the audience clapped aloud. Aloud is the adverb here. So that is placed at the end. In this slide you can see adverbs can be placed in 3 possible positions. One is initial position, that is suddenly she stopped singing. Suddenly is the adverb which is placed at the initial position. Then middle position, that is she listened intently to the audience response. And the last is at the end, that is the audience clapped aloud. Aloud is the adverb here. Okay, moving on to the next page. There you can underline most adverbs usually take the mid and end positions. You can underline the first sentence. Most adverbs usually take the mid and end positions. Usually most of the adverbs either come at the middle or the end of the sentences. For example, I often think about that town. I often, see, often comes at the middle. Then I go there often. Often comes at the end of the sentence. So usually most of the adverbs either occur in the middle or at the end. You can underline the next paragraph. However, adverbial phrases with a few exceptions like at once, very often, etc. cannot come in the mid position. So you can underline that, and towards the end of that line, underline. Similarly, adverbs of definite frequency like daily, then evaluating adverbs, etc. also cannot go in the mid position. So you can underline that. So these are a few of the exceptions. You can see the slide. Adverbs of definite frequency like daily, regularly, etc. and evaluating adverbs like hopefully, sadly, fortunately, etc. and adverbial phrases like at once, very often, etc. can never come in mid positions. സോ നമ്മൾ ഇതിന് മുന്നേ പറഞ്ഞത് അഡ്വേർബ്സ് പലയിടത്ത് വരാമെന്നാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. അതായത് ഇനീഷ്യൽ പൊസിഷനിൽ വരാം, തുടക്കത്തിൽ വരാം, മിഡിൽ പൊസിഷനിൽ വരാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻഡിൽ വരാം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു അല്ലേ. ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന ഇതാണ്, ചില അഡ്വേർബ്സ് ഉണ്ട് അത് എന്താണ് മിഡ് പൊസിഷനിൽ ഒരിക്കലും വരാൻ പറ്റില്ല. മിഡ് പൊസിഷനിൽ ഒരിക്കലും വരാൻ പറ്റില്ലാത്ത അഡ്വേർബ്സിൻ്റെ കാര്യമാണ് നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ പറഞ്ഞത്. ഏതൊക്കെയാണ് അത് പറയുന്നത്? 3 സെറ്റായിട്ടാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. ഒന്ന് അഡ്വേർബ്സ് ഓഫ് ഡെഫിനിറ്റ് ഫ്രീക്വൻസി ലൈക്ക് ഡെയിലി, റെഗുലർലി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന വാക്കുകൾ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇവാലുവേറ്റിംഗ് അഡ്വേർബ്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഹോപ്പ്ഫുള്ളി, സാഡ്ലി, ഫോർച്ചുനേറ്റ്ലി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന അഡ്വേർബ്സ്, ദെൻ അഡ്വേർബിയൽ ഫ്രേസസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള അറ്റ് വൺസ്, വെരി ഓഫൺ, എക്സെട്ര. ഇത്രയും എണ്ണങ്ങൾ ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസിനെ മിഡ് പൊസിഷനിൽ നമുക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് പറ്റില്ല. ഓക്കെ, മൂവിങ് ഓൺ. So you can see page number 30, that is third paragraph, third line. You can underline third line towards the end. When several types of adverbial phrases are used in the same sentence, they are placed in the following sequence, that is manner, place and time. Third paragraph, third line towards the end. You can underline from when several till time. So sometimes in the same sentence you can see more than one adverb. That is, ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസിൽ തന്നെ ചിലപ്പം ഒന്നിൽ കൂടുതൽ അഡ്വേർബ്സ് ഉണ്ടാകാനായിട്ട് ചാൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ ഉള്ളപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇതിനെയൊക്കെ എവിടെ എവിടെ പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏത് ഓർഡറിലായിരിക്കണം നമ്മൾ പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് എന്നാണ് പറയുക.
അതായത് ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസിനകത്ത് അഡ്വർബ് ഫ്രേസ് ഓഫ് മാനർ, അഡ്വർബ് ഫ്രേസ് ഓഫ് പ്ലേസ്, അഡ്വർബ് ഫ്രേസ് ഓഫ് ടൈം, ഇത്ര എണ്ണം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഏത് ഓർഡർ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യണം. സോ ദി ഓർഡർ ഈസ് അഡ്വർബ് ഫ്രേസ് ഓഫ് മാനർ, പ്ലേസ് ആൻഡ് ടൈം. സോ അത് നേരെ തിരിച്ചൊന്നും നമുക്ക് പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ആദ്യമേ മാനർ, ദെൻ പ്ലേസ് ആൻഡ് ദെൻ ടൈം.
So for example, she sang very well at the town hall in the afternoon on 20th December. So this is the format. This is the order in which the adverbs have to be placed. So you can see the slide. Sequence of placing adverbial phrases. See, the sentence is she sang very well at the town hall in the afternoon on 20th December. See, first one is very well.
സോ ഇവിടെ വെരി വെൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് അഡ്വർബ് ഫ്രേസ് ഓഫ് മാനർ. അതിനുശേഷം അറ്റ് ദ ടൗൺ ഹാൾ, അതാണ് അഡ്വർബ് ഫ്രേസ് ഓഫ് പ്ലേസ്. ആൻഡ് ഇൻ ദ ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ ഓൺ 20th December എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് അഡ്വർബ് ഫ്രേസ് ഓഫ് ടൈം. സോ ആ ഓർഡറിലാണ് പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്.
സി അവിടെ ആ പി പി ടിയിൽ കുറച്ച് എന്താണ് സ്പേസിംഗ് ഒക്കെ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും മാറിയിട്ടുണ്ട്, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അങ്ങനെ കിടക്കുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, ആ ഒരു ഓർഡറാണ് നമ്മൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. ദെൻ ഇൻ കേസ് വെൻ 2 places or destinations are mentioned, the larger place is put second. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താണ്, ചിലപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ വലിയൊരു റീജിയനും ചെറിയൊരു ഏരിയയും പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ലാർജർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള പ്ലേസ് നമ്മൾ രണ്ടാമതായിട്ട് മെൻഷൻ ചെയ്യണം. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, ഷീ ലീവ്സ് ഇൻ ദ സബർബ്സ് ഇൻ ചെന്നൈ. സി, in the suburbs എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമുക്കറിയാം it is the small place, so small place is mentioned first, and in Chennai is the large place, so large place is mentioned second. You can underline the next line as well. With verbs of movement such as come and go, the adverb place comes before the adverb of manner. For example, she went to the post office by taxi. See, you can see the slide. When verbs of movement such as come, go, went or likewise are used, adverb of place comes before adverb of manner. അതായത് നമ്മൾ ചില വേർബ്സ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം, അതായത് മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് കാണിക്കുന്ന ചില വേർബ്സ് നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം. കം, ഗോ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന വേർബ്സ് ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ മുമ്പേ പറഞ്ഞ ഓർഡർ അല്ല ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുക. അഡ്വർബ് ഓഫ് പ്ലേസ് ആണ് ആദ്യമേ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ അഡ്വർബ് ഓഫ് മാനർ പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യുക. Then we are coming into some of the major pitfalls in the use of adverbs. That is, some of the major mistakes that we commit while using adverbs. So there are about 8 sentences given in the textbook. So you can see page number 31, the 8 sentences which are given there. See, all those sentences have got some mistakes and you have to correct them, and the corrections or the explanations are given in the very last paragraph. Okay, keep that in mind. The 8 examples and their explanations are given in the last paragraph. The first point or the first example is, he behaved so slovenly that people came to detest him. We have an assumption that words that end in ly are usually adverbs. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മളിവിടെ ly എന്ന് യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് പോയത്. lyയിൽ അവസാനിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാം adverbs ആണ് എന്നൊരു വിശ്വാസം നമുക്കുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ lyയിൽ എൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആ വേർഡ് സ്ലോവൻലി എന്ന് അവിടെ യൂസ് ചെയ്തത്. പക്ഷേ അത് തെറ്റാണ്. സ്ലോവൻലി ഈസ് ആക്ച്വലി ആൻ adjective. സോ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞായിരുന്നു നേരത്തെ lyയിൽ അവസാനിക്കുന്നത് ഭൂരിഭാഗവും, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് അബൌട്ട് 90% lyയിൽ അവസാനിക്കുന്ന adverbs ആണ്. പക്ഷേ lyയിൽ അവസാനിക്കുന്ന ചില nouns ഉണ്ട്, ചില adjectivesഉം ഉണ്ട്. So slovenly here is an adjective, so you cannot use so slovenly that in this particular sentence, but you can correct the sentence as, he behaved in so slovenly a manner that people came to detest him. Next example is, he arrived home safely. So safely is okay as an adverb, but better to use arrived home safe. വെറുതെ safely എന്ന് യൂസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല, safe എന്ന് വെറുതെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് correct ആണ്. He arrived home safe. The third point is, when the accident was reported, I went at once there. You have to place the adverb of place first and then time. Here you have to correct the sentence as, when the accident was reported, I went there at once. See, there is the place and at once is the time. So you have to correct the sentence in this manner. Then the fourth point is, I went to upstairs to telephone. See, here you have to use the sentence without to. I went upstairs to telephone. Then fifth point is, back of the house is a garden. Instead of back of, you can use behind in this sentence. Behind the house is a garden. Sixth point is, due to illness he remained at home. So it is better to use owing to. Owing to illness he remained at home. Seventh point is, he came here every day. See, every day is an adjective, so use the adverb that is every day. Every day is used as two words. So every day എന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഒറ്റ വാക്കായിട്ട് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ അതൊരു adjective ആണ്. Every day എന്ന് നമ്മൾ രണ്ട് വാക്കായിട്ട് സ്പ്ലിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ അതൊരു adverb ആണ്. അങ്ങനെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. Then the last point is, roses smell superbly in June. So superbly ഓക്കെ ആണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ബട്ട് സൂപ്പർബ് എന്ന് ജസ്റ്റ് യൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. നമ്മൾ സെക്കൻഡ് പോയിന്റിൽ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ തന്നെ സേഫ്ലി എന്ന് യൂസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല, സേഫ് എന്ന് യൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. സൂപ്പർബ്ലി എന്ന് യൂസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല, സൂപ്പർബ് എന്ന് യൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ആ ചാപ്റ്റർ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഏതൊക്കെ പോയിന്റ്സ് ആണ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് എന്നുള്ളത് ഓർത്ത് വെക്കുക.
Now the exercise. A. Give an example for a sentence beginning with a sentence adverb. So you can use sentence adverbs like actually, definitely, hopefully, etc. So the answer can be, actually I should say you did it well. B. She sang yesterday in the town hall at 2 o'clock very sweetly. Arrange the adverbs in the proper order. So the order which is to be followed is adverb phrase of manner, place and time. So the answer is, she sang very sweetly in the town hall at 2 o'clock yesterday. C. An adverb can modify even a preposition. Give an illustration. So we have seen similar kind of a sentence in the textbook. So the answer is, he listened to me from outside. So the adverb outside is modifying the preposition from. D. She presented her argument dash. Complete the sentence with an adverb phrase. So here you can use a phrase which is functioning as an adverb, plus there should be an adverb within that phrase. So you can use phrases like very quickly, very well or extremely well. വേറെയും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം. E. She proceeded by taxi to the airport. Improve the style. So ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യേണ്ട ഓർഡർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ place, manner. That is adverb phrase of place first, then manner. So the answer is, she proceeded to the airport by taxi. Next is F. Such an arrangement will be very perfect. Correct the sentence. So there we don't have to use the word very. Very നിങ്ങൾ strike off ചെയ്ത് കളഞ്ഞോളൂ. And the answer is, such an arrangement will be perfect. G. The teacher spoke dash of Raju. You can choose either high or highly. So the answer is highly. The teacher spoke highly of Raju. And the last one is, liquids ferment due to the action of germs. This is about the use of due to. Due to ൻ്റെ യൂസ് നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ കണ്ടായിരുന്നു. When we use due to, there should be a noun just before it and after it. So you can correct the sentence like this: liquid fermentation is due to the action of germs. Now, after watching the video, go through the chapter completely. മൊത്തം വായിച്ച് നോക്കുക. If you have got any doubts അടുത്ത ക്ലാസ്സിൽ വരുമ്പോൾ ചോദിക്കുക. Plus exercises എഴുതി വെക്കുക കേട്ടോ. Thank you.